The aspen tree is peculiar. From a single seedling, they can grow into lush colonies, sharing a single root structure. A lone tree leaving a legacy forest for eons. It makes you wonder, what's your legacy? Words? Memories? Physical things? Just a name on a wind-smoothed granite stone? In disc golf, we trade monuments for courses, celebrations of life for tournaments. Our weekend trips with friends are our eulogies. And the greatest legacy a person can leave is inspiring future generations to carry on the work of providing a home and reason for an entire community to congregate and celebrate the sport. Falcon's flight started as a disc golf tournament, but Rudy Falconer building the courses and inviting us all to play started a tradition. And now, the tradition is carried on in the hands of friends, family, and fellow golfers. Like the very aspen trees on this property in the foothills of southern Alberta, what seems like dozens of independent people can really trace its roots back to a single source. And Falcon's Flight has now become a festival of Canadian disc golf thanks to a huge network of people, all tied together by Rudy and his dream. The seventh stop on the Canadian Disc Golf Tour is Falcon's Flight. Thanks, Rudy.
Hello and welcome to the 14th edition of Falcon's Flight, brought to you by Limber Disc Golf, supported by Innova. You are watching Parked Pro and the Canadian Disc Golf Tour. I am here with Ben Loggins, and we are here to show you all of this fantastic action. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing good, Jeff. I'm excited to see round one.
We're out here at Aspen Meadows East. You can see the stats up there. This is the beloved property of Alberta Disc Golf, all built and designed by Rudy Falconer. We miss him and all the service he's given Alberta Disc Golf.
I'd say this course, people might prefer other courses in Western Canada, but I'd say there's no course in Canada that makes you feel special when you're there.
Absolutely.
You get the feels.
Speaking of special guys, you got Casey Hanemayer. He's looking pretty hot on that stat card, and he is the winner from the year prior and maybe 3 or 4 titles under his belt at this location.
He's rocking the Aspen Meadows bucket hat there, too. Okay, Noah Higgins, the young gun but the experienced veteran, coming in 994. His rating's been on the rise in 2023. After spending a long time in that mid 970s, 980s range, he's on his way up.
Brian Freese, sponsored by Disc Republic. Everybody loves Brian. Look at him there. How couldn't you love him?
Yeah, all-time card mate Brian. Sporting for Disc Republic.
Yeah.
A retailer from his neck of the woods. From Manitoba. And Jay-Z, Justin Zimmer. He usually plays pretty well there. Justin's got a clean, simple game. He doesn't ever try to throw shots that are outside his repertoire.
Yeah, he's used to playing these tighter lines, and he can throw super far on them as well.
And he's an athlete.
And the Elder Zimmer, which has a lot of power. That's the disc golf family. Anyway, we're looking at the tour overall stats here. Casey in first with Thomas Gilbert in second. Brian in third. Max in fourth. You can definitely see how things are shaking out when guys are missing a couple of tour events. In Thomas's case specifically.
We see there's some money on the line here too.
Yeah, look at that.
$1,000 for first place. That's a big drop off to second at 500. And does Casey have it locked up at this point, or I guess we're still playing for some points, but those guys aren't necessarily close behind.
We'll have to check that out. Here we are at hole 1. You're going to see the drone fly the fairway, but to play the fairway here would be to turn this into a 2-shot hole. Most people will be throwing a high spiking hyzer above this, trying to get a look at maybe like a circle's edge or circle 2 putt. To park this hole is a miracle, and playing within your bounds is your best play here. Bogey or worse waits for people to get a little too ambitious.
Yeah, this is the very definition of a bonus bird, I'd say. You feel real good walking away from here with a 3. Everybody maybe wants to take a long step at the 2, but... And different strategies here are to play it the hyzer to the fat part of the landing area and have an easy 3, or to try to crash the green and plan to scramble. I know Casey and myself have crashed left of the basket here on purpose because it's the easier side to scramble from. So
Yes, the trees we saw on the left side of the screen now and the right side of the drone flyover, you can get sucked into throwing behind them almost to try and get enough distance, and getting stuck in that island of trees spells danger, danger, danger.
So that's what I'm talking about. Where Casey is there, that left side is much easier to scramble from. So I'm promising you that's his target. If he straightens it out a little too much and he lands it on the basket, then great. But you cannot be right of this basket. Oh, missed that. Oh my goodness.
That's the behind that tree thing I was talking about.
Okay. So Noah, that's a better line. That's closer to parking it than Casey's, but he might not be able to get up and down for a par.
Yeah, it looks like if he could swing it just another 5 feet to get fully behind that tallest tree, he's got maybe the best landing potential to hit a bullseye there.
Okay, Brian's got the power, especially on hyzer, to get there. Oh, this
It's
is
a
not
lot
good.
of hyzer out of his hand.
That's sawed off. That just came out early. I'm pretty sure Brian doesn't power grip. I think he does a 3-finger grip as well, right? So it could just be grip failure there, nerves, sweaty hands.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest players I've ever played with. I wouldn't doubt it if he picked that disc up out of his bag into his run-up and threw it. And sometimes first hole of the day, that's not the easiest thing to do.
Okay, Justin also has a lot of power, particularly when throwing hyzer. And he's crashing that left side here.
Yeah, kind of like the safety bailout side, just like Casey had.
From what I remember from this day, I think there was a little bit of right to left wind. Not enough wind that would affect like a shot like what Brian's throwing here, but from the tee, when you put the disc up that high, it would have played it. Just too low. Gonna have a look though.
Yep. That's where the bogey thoughts start to creep in, right? That's probably still a 40-foot putt.
It's very common on this hole to be stuck with a long putt for par. And it's the situation you want to avoid, but it's, I don't know, very common.
Great out for Noah there. Leave himself
Is
about a
it
20
a little
footer.
roller?
Ooh.
Okay. But you can see the lines from where Casey was there. There's bigger gaps on that side. He's just a little unlucky to not be lined up with a better shape than that. Yeah, so where Justin is here, this is actually, strangely, a nice spot to get. Because the scramble is pretty easy from there.
Absolutely. Casey's got a little bit more roll. Oh, and there's Brian getting that bogey we talked about. Yeah, Casey rolled all the way into the tree line.
Got a window. Oh my goodness, that guy.
My goodness.
Casey is that guy that when you're on a card with him, if he can see the basket and get a swing, you get the feeling that he might make it. So
That was a lot of chains on the pro side.
okay, while these guys are cleaning up, can I tell you a story about my round 1 on this hole?
Hit me with it.
So I've probably wasted more tendon and arm strength on this hole practicing than any other. I've probably emptied the bag, I don't know, 50 times, and I've never gotten the 2 on this hole. But round 1, hole 1 here, I put it to 20 feet, and that is the most nervous I've ever been in my life walking up to a putt.
20-foot.
And I just squeaked it over the rail, just barely squeaked it in, and got the 2 here. The
Yeah.
only one I've ever gotten in practice or otherwise.
For people wondering, this played as one of the hardest holes in the entire tournament, playing 0.7 over par for the day today.
Was that not the hardest?
I didn't look.
We'll get there. 0.7 over par, but that drives on what we're saying, which is that the 3 feels like a little bit of a birdie.
It was the third hardest hole on the course for the
Wow,
day.
that surprises me.
We'll see if you can guess the harder ones as we go along.
Okay, well this is not it. Hole 2, 245 feet. It's easy to mess it up, but it's pretty easy to get right. I think most folks are throwing the sidearm and trying to cheat through these trees that just short of the left of the basket here. And if you hit them and you leave yourself the 25, 30 footer down the hill, so be it. And if you get through, then you'll be parked. But yeah, this is not one that you want to leave on the table.
See if, Noah's going backhand here. Not a ton of forehand throws from him. And that's kind of one of the common misses with the touchier backhand, is to kiss the trees on the left or to over pull the high turnover into the trees on the right.
Looks like he threw a PA4 there. In the past, playing with him, I think he's usually thrown an M4. He likes the mid-range rim for turnovers a lot, but changing up his play. Justin squeaks through here. He'll have a look from there. That's a very common spot to end up. Okay, the tomahawk from Casey. So if you were going to shape up a pure line, Casey doesn't hit it here, but I think the tomahawk actually, you could theoretically shape the fairway perfectly with it panning back at the end.
Yeah, if you cheat to the right over that tree just a little bit, I think the tomahawk lines up perfectly.
Wow, Brian really lucky not to get sucked right into those spruces.
Yeah, shows you the more common forehand play as well. A lot of those forehands kind of trickle down into the trees on the right, and the quality of the lie is a variable at best down there.
That was a tough look for Noah there. The disc will get away from you really quick when you get to this basket, and you'll be in the trees long. Okay, cheeky half go layup from Justin there. Casey, this is one he's going to want to get. Wow. Very fluffy, way high.
Yeah.
Not a stroke that looks like him normally. Wow. And the 24 chains showing their teeth early here. Oh my goodness. The 24s. So if you don't know, these baskets were state of the art, 12 years ago?
Yes.
But, yeah, they're not anymore.
I think Noah's putt kind of lends to that kind of splash out on a light chain basket because he is so direct. But
it didn't look like he hit the pole there. Normally Noah's higher velocity putt, you see hit the post and bounce out. I don't even really understand what happened there. Brian's was a little weak side. A little.
Oh, let's look.
Oh, no, he did hit the pole. Okay. High post.
Yeah.
Man, and then Brian's a tiny bit weak side. Did he cut through the weak side?
It looked like he caught enough edge that it could have.
Man.
Oh, boy.
Tough.
Hole 3, par 4. This hole, you will see people throw a backhanded layup into the zone the drone is flying over now, then try and navigate a high hyzer. Other players will try and throw a forehand, and if they've got enough power, maybe even try and push up into this area to look directly down at the basket. Off the fairway, off the tee, spells par at best and often bogey. And the green itself is quite difficult to navigate if you have poor angle. One of the more exciting holes, I think. One that we've seen Casey put great efforts into almost eagling. I guess in the old pin position. Which was
the old pin position was the par 3. I think, I don't know, around here mostly it was just Casey was the only person that could ever get a look at it. So then the change came, which made, I think, only Casey unhappy.
Yeah.
This gap is hard to hit. Something about this tee box, just the way you're walking up, it is. The fairway seems like you should never miss it. Those branches creep in, and I feel like I only see 50% of people make it through this initial gap.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking down fairway and thinking maybe about where they want that disc to land, and that secondary lapse in the focus on the gap makes it really, really hard.
Nice.
Yeah, Brian doing the backhand layup we talked about and doing it almost perfectly.
So I think what you saw there, Brian brought his hand in to the center of the gap, which was in the center of his body. Whereas the tee box sets you up that if you're throwing with your hand away from your body, you're putting your hand on the left edge of the fairway and then dragging the disc across it, which makes it.
Ooh, what a rip.
That is tasty from Noah. That's more than you need, honestly. That's way more than you need to bite off, but he'll have a shorter hyzer.
Yeah, I think really in that one, hitting the fairway is the biggest reward because having good footing and a straight line to the fairway is such an advantage. Even 5 feet off left and right of that fairway, you're losing most of your footing and a lot of your ability to throw the disc comfortably. Those firs and pines that get up in your elbows and make it really, really difficult.
Justin going flex there instead of hyzer. I guess he didn't have the shape. He was crowded on the right side. A lot tougher to manage the flex with the wind up top high there.
Coming in early can be dangerous as well because the forest is much more dense than when you get closer to the basket.
Yeah, Brian's got hyzer and the wind, I think, is helping him here. A little left, maybe? Okay, we'll see on the green. I would imagine he played Plinko down somewhere in the circle.
Yeah, if the camera gives us any hint, he's in a good position.
No, yeah, this is pretty easy from here. A little tight for the angle. If you're farther back, the angle's easier, but obviously not a lot of distance left here. Was that shadow from a bird or the disc? I feel like that was the disc.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, there
right
it is.
There. Great shot from
kind of unlucky to get the roll backwards there, eh?
He's still in the circle.
Yeah. Casey, this is trying to get up and down for the 4.
Yeah, that's a lot of angle. Oh boy.
This is unusual for him on this hole. He normally just makes mincemeat of the hole.
Yeah, we've seen him in previous years, and you can check out coverage of this tournament in previous years from Central Coast, and you'll see Casey absolutely fillet this fairway.
What is this, 45 feet for Justin? And he had a line. There's a lot of luck with this green about where you end up, what kind of line you end up with, and both of these guys have a nice window. Wow, this guy.
Downtown for the chunk bucket.
That's a big par. This is not one that you want to take a bogey on. There's a lot of trouble to be had. Like, I'm not saying you can't take a bogey, but it does not feel good. This is when you want to get the 3. Wow. Noah will be disappointed there. So I think the spit out in Noah's head there, did you see how much gentler he threw that? That was a normal pace putt for most folks. Oh my gosh.
Twice in a row for Brian.
So that one was off the pole. So we saw in the first spin out effect, Noah, you saw the pace come off the putt and it didn't get to the basket. Brian decides just keep throwing it at the pole and gets a spit again. Man,
That's crazy. I'm stunned.
that'll affect the mood of the whole card.
Yeah, when it's happening to multiple guys, you have a little bit of a pity party, and then, yeah, it's infectious, the bad feelings about the baskets.
A couple years ago on coverage, we saw Casey get a spit out on this basket in particular. Okay, scorecard check-in. Hey, there's me.
And me.
Jace Barrows, he is always in the mix after round 1 on this course. He just plays really well here for some reason. Jesse Tamalti.
And Ben Logan's tied.
-3. Yeah, look at us. We're bros. Jeremy Gauthier, Willie Friesen, Kyle Chazon, Alex Ramadan, Miguel Alvarado. Miguel, a staple here at Falcon Slide, always in the mix.
And for people wondering, really any score under par keeps you in the mix for the tournament after round 1.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get anything on the happy side of even, you're a happy camper. Okay, this hole, you're looking for 1s and 2s here is what we say. This is the DJ hole. On the 1s and 2s, it's only the decision, I think, is if you're throwing it at the bottom of the basket or if you're trying to bring it in chain high. In years past, we've seen a lot of star frames here. And if you're not getting the birdie here, you're not going to be happy walking away. This is, safe to say, the easiest hole on the property that we will see on either course.
Yeah, you need to get this one. As we said, being on the south side of even is good for the tournament, and there are holes with teeth coming, and you need to get this birdie on the scorecard to give you some cushion.
One of my favorite things in the past here, we had Central Coast cover this one a couple years ago, and both rounds here, every single player threw it 51 miles an hour off the tee here, which is interesting. Apparently, we all just know how hard to throw a shot like this. And it's 51. So that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the boys throw it 51 miles an hour. They're all going to get their park jobs, and they're all going to move on. This looks great. Yeah, we're 3 for 3.
Yeah, I think the only mistakes that can happen is maybe you leave it a little inside and end up with a bad lie in the trees and making an awkward putt. But
This is hunting. Oh, no, it's not. Another park job.
Probably looking at like 70% of the pro field birdieing this.
Yeah, I would say. And yeah, in our Western Canada scene, like the pro field doesn't go super deep with top end talent. Like it's not pro tour level. This is, oh my goodness.
Laughing it off though.
Yeah, well, he can blame Casey for putting out a turn there. Well, should we go ahead and issue Casey the warning there for tapping in?
Call the PDJ.
Ouch.
Yeah, good for Justin, smiling. You know, those Zimmer guys and gals, the sisters as well, always have such great attitudes on and off the course.
Yeah, you can smile on the outside though, but it'll be those misses, man. It's hard to leave them in the past.
Yeah, that's true. And the next hole we're walking up to is a pretty demanding shot. So
Brian with the big fist pump there after the back-to-back spit outs. He finally got one to stick.
He's just stoked for his basket friend for catching one. Hole 5, par 3, 224 feet. This pin position changed a year ago? 2 years ago?
3, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Used to be dead straight of where the drone is flying now. Now it's tucked to the right here. This is a very tight fairway. off the fairway can spell bogey at best. You'll see a lot of people with a low sidearm just hoping to hit the fairway straight and get a little skip and trickle down the hill. Backhands are tough, but you'll probably be looking for the left side of the circle and not trying to make that final turn.
Yeah, because of the slope here, you can throw the backhand, and if you put the hyzer edge on the slope, it'll counter skip it a little bit. This is what you want. That might go in.
It's too much, yeah. Really close.
Yeah, 224, it's another one you must bird. Even though the gap's tight, the distance is so short, everyone should have this. That's a little inside, but he's probably still going to have a look.
There's a couple of gaps where you can sneak in the back door around that side, but it doesn't look like that's what Brian has. He'll just be chipping up to catch a piece of the circle. A rare forehand from Noah, but looking good as
With
well.
the nose up. Wow, that was close. Gentleman on the far left there, Ken. He's a top 2 in the world, 80 plus. This one.
Wow.
Ken Tebow. That's a very nice try from Justin. Justin's got a really clean forehand. He's an ultimate player. So you see him with the slower speed disc throwing the forehand. He looks really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was wrong there. Brian did not really have much of a look. We have seen, like you said, there are some gaps, but Brian didn't get one.
I know from experience.
Okay, Justin. Wow.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, he's not thinking about that last putt.
No.
Hits that one clean. Got the wired earbud. Hey, that's a throwback. Got the earbud in with the wire going into it. No Bluetooth.
Battery never dies on the wired headphones.
That was a good putt from Noah there. These short ones sometimes, when you've been on a card where there's a bunch of spits, you're looking for something here. You're not just trying to get it in. You're looking to build something going forward. And Noah's pace on that one, it looked to me like he found some middle ground there.
Yeah, Noah putts with so much pace all the time, and is confident doing so.
Yeah.
So it's probably something that gets in his head a little bit if he thinks his putt isn't suited for the target when he's so well practiced at what he does.
I did notice the rounds that I played with Noah last year in 2023, he had slowed it down a bit. It wasn't like an absolute rocket. It was a bit more mid. Okay, hole 6, 505. Bonus birdie, safe to say, to be sure, but this is one that's gettable for everyone on this card for sure. Options, it used to be the people that throw over the forest on the right. Some guys still do, but those trees, those aspens have grown up. So it's really a question of height. The lower you put it, the easier it is to stick it close to the basket without any luck. And if you put a little higher so that the gap is bigger, then you're probably going to be playing for the, a 40-footer from the left side. I think really here, the smart play is just don't get into trouble because you're not going to lose strokes to many folks with a 3.
Yeah, I'll say it every hole on this course, but this is another one where being too deep in the rough makes it very hard to scramble back for a par.
I have not seen Casey try that play, a high flex. I wonder if that was wind related.
I think that a lot of guys should play this hole lower than they do when there is wind, because getting above these trees, the disc is fully exposed because you're throwing on top of the hill.
No, with the signature run up from the far right.
Oh, look at the left too.
So I don't mind this play here when you play to that left edge because you can pretty easily pitch over and sometimes even take a stab at it. It's a safe spot to run the basket from. If you pull the disc into the right side low, that's a good line. But if you pull the disc into the aspens on the right side, that's the way you take a big number on this hole.
Close to my line. It's hard to tell what disc to throw.
Man, this is a beautiful day.
Flat.
Brian looks like he's throwing something more understable there. He starts it left and trying to trust that the disc is going to work back right, but I think maybe afraid to finish his swing into the center of the fairway there because of the understable disc.
Yeah, with so many of these shots going to the left side, I'm kind of wondering if they were over-respecting the wind up that day, if there was a bit of headwind or something like that.
We saw the quick play you're talking about there from Brian. He pulled the disc out of the caddy's bag and threw it in not enough time to make an edit.
Yeah, even from a scramble position that's complex, there's no delay in his throw.
Wow, that was gorgeous. That was a tougher shot than Justin made it look there. The right side, it's awkward. The gaps and the staggers of the trees just do not line up. Wow, this is way tougher than that. But he almost throws it in.
I thought I was going to. I'm not gonna lie.
One. Well, that's because you couldn't see that branch from your side there, Noah. Okay. Man, everyone's scaring the basket, honestly, but no one getting it. And I'd say that's probably the most common result on this hole is a bunch of long looks at at the 2, and then a bunch of people tapping in 3s, unless someone has a really poor drive.
Yeah, if you're not scrambling, it's probably very common to have a 70-footer with something slightly in the way.
How'd you do on this hole, Justin?
If I remembered, I would tell you.
Okay. Well, I remember. I think I got a 6 on this one. I made an absolute mess. I hacked my way up the right side the whole way.
I think I hung mine out over the right a little more than I needed to, but still scrambled.
Jesse, it looks like you did pretty well. We see you on the top of our leaderboard, tied with Jace Barrows. Miguel, the score's honestly a little bit cool here. Once you get past you and Jace, -5 pretty typically will find you on the lead card. I'd say the round 1 leader we usually see between -6 and -4. But only a handful of -2s there.
Yeah, to be that far under through 10, I specifically remember getting the nerves quite quickly, knowing that could finish to be all-time round for myself. Hole 7, par 3, 320. This one requires a very, very specific high backhand turnover. Some forehands will work. You want something that starts to level out as it turns the corner in the gap and kind of scoots up here. It's not very common that a disc gets all the way to the basket, but sometimes coming up to that first tree that we just passed.
We've seen it. Easy to bogey this one. Very easy to get into trouble. Very hard to birdie, as you said. And very specific. Casey, I think the forehand is a business decision here. Because if you make the gap, you're going to push into the right side. What? That?
It's a really well thrown shot.
Wow. So that shot there, he's throwing his, that's an A4, I believe, and a little bit of flip up. So as it's going through the gap, it is standing up. Oh, no.
That could be bad for Noah. 2 inside off the tee, but the kick to the left side really, really limits your angles and options that early.
No.
Wow.
Wait.
So both of these guys, I think this is a mistake of experience because for sure the most common mistake you see is people starting the disc too wide and then it does not make the gap because the gap is so far right. And the way to park this is to cut it close on that inside tree and then have it keep turning. So that shot from Brian is the most common.
Absolutely. Brian's mistake there, maybe even 50% of the field makes that mistake.
Yeah.
As long as you have a little bit of space from Brian's spot, you thankfully can navigate the narrowest part of the gap and get your par. But from further back, Noah just jump putting out to the fairway. There is nothing. You can see from this lie as well how little there is.
We've seen Noah park this hole on coverage. He does have the shape and... Oh, man. Okay, at least he's in the open now. The blood will be spilled here. Woo! Beautiful. Beautiful touch. You can see the ultimate background, hey?
Mm-hmm.
The touch he has when he's down tempoing and not doing a full turn. Noah, this is tight. Sneaks.
Good to fight through that tree.
Very nice. That the backstop here seems to be pretty reliable. I don't think I've actually seen anyone penetrate in there when they've brought it in hot. What was that?
Yeah.
Okay, just pitching out, but he had made some cartoon faces.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Brian on tilt. I'd say this is the dark side of folks who try to play really quick. Uncharacteristic. The happy side of trying to play quick is you don't have time to have a bunch of negative thoughts come in. But the problem is if you're spiraling just a little bit, you don't have time to reset and get yourself out of it. So sometimes you can get in a funk and you can stack a bunch of strokes up in a hurry because you're playing so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I maybe he just didn't have his feet lined up and he threw to his natural release point and then went, oh no, I didn't take the time to get set correctly.
But yeah, the opposite, right? So if you have some positive momentum going, you just keep it going and you can stack up birdies in a hurry. Wow. Wow.
A little scary putt and somersault.
And then
Justin.
he like perfectly copied what his disc did there.
Yeah.
Rolls it over the top and then he rolls over in. Casey with the play-by-play. Oh, wow, Justin's gonna be feeling the feels on those shorties. He honestly, Get the slow-mo here. This is sweet. Wow. Thanks, Maddie, for the editing. That's great stuff. So I was playing once with Justin on hole 5. We're walking down the fairway. And just out of the blue, just whips a side flip. Like, out of nowhere. It was like, wow. And I didn't see it. I asked him to do it again. And then he tore his oblique.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it was very impressive. Okay, hole 8. For me, this is the defining hole of the Aspen Meadows facility. It's a par 4, and it really makes you think. There's a lot of decisions to be had about how aggressive do you go. Do you go all the way for the fat part of the green? All the way out here? Do you aim for the narrow bit? And then there's probably 3 different landing zones even on the layup of how much you could bite off. And none of them really offer a distinct advantage from a risk reward. The reward is equivalent to the risk, I feel. So, you kind of have to pick your poison of when you want to have to throw a difficult shot, because at some point on this hole,
this like flex,
you have
and
to
it landed
throw
around the
some
corner
type of
on like the
difficult
piece
shot.
of the fairway that's like 8 feet wide, inbounds. Oh yeah. It's like this guy's the luckiest. Yeah, I was like, he's the luckiest.
And this is the mood too, right? This hole, I think people have stories about.
Oh,
Right.
Absolutely.
Noah could have been telling stories about how lucky I've been there. I've been lucky on this hole a few times. This is Casey's play. He has the power to throw the sidearm across the wasteland here. If you don't have the power to throw a sidearm over that wasteland, I don't think you want to lay up that short. But ideally, Casey wants to be farther right because he might be a little tight to the edge. Noah, that should be safe, right?
Oh, it says
It's gonna be a
group
group
call.
call.
They're going to go look at
Okay.
it.
So we will see.
It is a somewhat common miss on the back end because you don't want a disc that's going to fade back and create some skip. So a lot of guys are throwing something understable, to land flat and land soft, just like this one from
Oh,
Justin.
look at that climb the hill. So right is better here because you do want some space up away from this left side so that you can get up and over.
Yeah, being close to the forward key pad there, I think, is a really good marker target.
Okay, I like where Brian's landing here, even if he's
Just a little tight to the tree.
if he's got a good swing. I do like that side because it's easier to get up and over. Okay, here's Noah. Stakes. I don't know which
Oh,
side
you're
is
out
which.
there.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
that's
is-
out, but
that's out.
it's really close.
It'd be sick if we had a stick.
Casey left
No,
us
it's
know just
that's
how
out
close
though.
it
You can
is.
tell.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, right on that.
This is why you suck, because my arms.
Got Andre
I got a string in my
in
bag.
there. Yeah. So
my
if you
shoe?
don't
That's out
know,
by half
part of the
centimeters.
disc has to be
Out
on
by-
the inside of the stake. The stake itself is the line, so just touching into the line is no good. We have to be touching some part inside of the line. We get a look at the new T signs for this year. See that painted? Oh, it's not the shot anymore. But okay, Noah probably playing the backhand crash.
Yeah.
I hate this shot, honestly. Lots of times it's your only option. Wow.
Apparently Noah likes it.
No, but you see you know what I'm saying, because you have a 50-50 chance at best of getting through those trees. And if you make it, you make it. And if not, you're OB, 90 feet short of the basket? But he makes it through. So he shouldn't save par.
Overhand from Brian.
Wow, stepping across his lie.
And goes OB long out the back. A little bit right of where his landing zone was.
He's going to have an uphill 55-footer with OB behind the basket from there.
Very
Not the spot you
scary.
want to be.
Yeah, you're not out of the woods once you make it across.
Okay, here's another backhand. This looks left, so it might not challenge. Okay, yeah. So here's the other side of that 50-50. Do you see Noah's get through? Noah may know more than I do. He might have a gap picked out that he knows he likes to hit, but if you do have a gap picked out, it's not big. Wow, and Casey doesn't make it across.
He could maybe rethrow. He's going to get closer, but I think rethrowing from further behind
Yes.
might give you a better angle for getting up and over the tree.
I don't know why he's taking it this close. He's moving back a little bit, and now he's going to go to a thumber. And he hits the top of that tree. So if Casey takes this farther back, so this is his advantage on this hole, is he has the power both with the overhands and with the sidearm to throw over these trees, and he doesn't have to pick a gap. But by being this close, he has to
Not again.
pick gaps between these trees. That's a well-thrown shot,
Oh, and then roll out.
if it can stop.
Sit down.
Okay. Uphill 35-footer for us. 1, 2 out, 3 back, 4 out. Oh my goodness. That's going to be a big number.
A number.
7, I think. We'll see.
I did the same thing, unfortunately. We saw my name at the top of the leaderboard looking shiny. I proceeded to throw 2 into the middle from hitting treetops as well.
Well, it showed you -5 through 10. So you were already through this one.
Oh, then I did it in a different round.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Everyone has had their share of being on the happy side and the sad side of this hole. Okay. Casey usually good at limiting the damage. We'll see. Yes.
Yeah, for Hanemayer.
Yeah.
7.
They won't even tell us. Yeah, I think that was a 7. But 7's better than 8.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Par +3. You don't ever want to be taking the par +4 because that's the same score you could have had if you just didn't play the hole.
Yeah, you had to be tortured by it.
Wow, we get another call. That looks out as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's crossing in.
Oh, man.
I think it's like so close.
It's like
dude.
centimeters if
It's like it's millimeters. Like,
So Brian's putt does go out of bounds.
You can't tell.
So that's
like, it's
that's the
literally-
problem for me, man. You just never want to be in the position going out of bounds.
They've called him in because they couldn't tell if it was
really?
on the line or not, and they gave the benefit to him.
That's why you got to be a nice guy. Brian gets that call.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
if
an honest
everyone does.
call.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. If you can't tell, then you got to give it. That's
there
fair.
isn't one. You just have to go for it until you make
But yeah, it definitely helps when you're the nice guy in the group. The
Yeah.
things start to fall your way a bit more.
Give us some names of some folks who wouldn't get that call, Jesse.
Benjamin Loggins.
Hey, what? Brian would have given it to me.
That's true.
We
Yeah.
see the pro putt here from Casey. That's how you get that high rating, right? Is even when you're having a bad day, you still limit the damage. Hole 9 walks through it.
Yeah. Hole 9, shorty, uphill. The big thing here is just making sure you've selected the right shot, not to get sucked into the trees on the left, because the barbed wire fence you're seeing there is OB, and an early scored OB means that you are not getting your par. I'd say this one probably plays close to par. A lot of people have struggles with these short ones that are uphill with the tight lines. A lot of guys are going to be throwing like a little flip-up putter. I think Casey will probably throw like a sidearm flex shape of some kind.
Yeah, the tough thing with these uphill ones is keeping your alignment with your body, right? We all have got a... Ooh, lucky there. Could have been worse. Could have been better.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing, to pull it to the right to, correct for anything that might want to go towards that OB, and then...
But yeah, the walk up here to keep your body aligned is the most important thing. Because if you make the gap here, you're going to have a birdie putt like you see from Justin there. Justin, a touch more hyzer than he's looking for, but he's aligned, so he's going to have a very short birdie putt. Wow. Brian getting some love back from the course after he's gotten his fair share of bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Those ones that are starting to fade out low also, I think, go OB more often. These high ones can catch a branch and kick out, keeping Casey's here safe. Other ones can slide underneath the clipped branches if they're too low.
Yeah, Casey's showing just how dense the rough is here that you can't even get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. This for a birdie. Okay. High again. Second high miss. He seems a little bit not himself this round.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Casey knock down every putt inside of 50 feet, but it's early in the tournament, and he just came off at 8, I guess they're saying it was.
Okay.
Oh no, we're on hole 8. I'm good at graphics. A 7 on the last hole.
Yeah. 7 on 8.
Hard to keep your killer instinct intact after something like that.
Okay, Justin. So he's feeling the nerves on the short ones. It seems like when he's even gets out to like 16 feet, he looks way more comfortable than he does from 10. Not the way you want to be feeling. I'm sure he'll shake it off.
Yeah, there's a lot of golf left and a lot of opportunities for scoring, both positively and negatively on the rest of this course.
Brian with a big smile, knowing that he found some chains between him and the pole this time.
Absolutely. Speaking of people finding change, we've got a new tie at the top. Miguel and Jace, Ben and I, Owen and Sylvan all tied up in third with 3 down. Jeremy Gauthier, 2 down. Josh Meinschner at -1. Coda Pottsman -1. Same with Kyle Chason.
And if you're wondering, is it that Owen Wilson? It is. It's that one.
It's that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a leaderboard full of good guys here.
See if they can keep it up on the back nine. Thanks for joining us for the front nine of Falcon's flight. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Ben and Jesse coming at you here with another night of smooth jazz.
And he won't stop doing that until you subscribe. So you better subscribe.
Smooth jazz.
Join our Patreon.
Patreon. Oh, look at this. Hey, Russ and Saya.